Hi, and welcome to today's show, where I will be sharing insights in terms of how motor mechanics can improve their operations by using no code tools. Before I dive into all of that, if you are a regular, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Bybreen Samuels, and I help baby boomers reinvent themselves psychologically, practically, and technically so they can thrive in their third act of life. So, you're a motor mechanic with tons of years of experience under your belt. And I just want to give you some context in terms of your world, in terms of vehicles. So, there have been a number of developments over the last 10, 15 years and also moving forward. So, one of them obviously is about the rise of electric cars. The second one is this hybrid situation of electric cars and gas engine cars that are coexisting. There's also been developments in different materials like carbon fiber and aluminium that are used to build cars. There are new diagnostic tools that are driven by technology that help you to identify what the problem is with a car and how it could be repaired. And then, equally importantly, is this field of new technology called the Internet of Things, IoT, and it sits under the umbrella of Web 3.0. And essentially, IoT, the Internet of Things, it brings the online world and the offline world together. And the way that it does it, in particular with regards to vehicles, is by using computer chips and or sensors that are placed in the car, particularly modern cars. And these sensors read the environment of the car, pick up real-time data, send it all the way back to the car manufacturers, and they can make any kind of changes and modifications. So that's some of the contextual information that you as a mechanic, you may be familiar with some of them, obviously, or you might think I need to upskill myself or educate myself. Nonetheless, there could be a great cohort of you that have a number of customers that still drive gas engine cars. You know, they've had them for a long time, still very sturdy and robust. And so, what you want to do, what you could do, is begin to add more value to these types of customers. And the way that you could do this is via two types of services. One is about notification, read the oil changes for these older cars. And the second one is about developing a digital maintenance log, like the history of the car. Now, there are some no code tools that you can use. So don't worry, you don't have to start diving into and trying to work out whether you need to be an engineer. Not at all. So, for the first one, with regards to the oil change, you could use a no code automation tool called Zapier. So, what this allows you to do is take one of your customers and they have this annual or more regularly oil change. So you would kickstart it by having a trigger. And one of the triggers could be the last time this particular customer had the oil changed in their car. So let's say it was on January the 15th, 2023. So that is what's going to trigger the alert. You would then use Zapier and you would connect Zapier to your calendar. It could be Outlook, it could be Google. It doesn't really matter what the online calendar is. You're going to connect Zapier to that app, and it will then trigger via an email and or text. So, for example, the last one was on January the 15th. You connect it to the calendar, and let's say 2 or 3 months before the oil change is required, you send an email out to your customer letting them know they need to bring the car in on X particular date. As you're moving closer to the date, what you can do is start sending texts to them to remind them a week, 10 days beforehand. So that's one no code tool that you could use that helps you to add value to your existing customer base. Don't forget, you know, with regards to marketing, you have this niche. It's like an inch wide and a mile deep. And the mile deep is how you can add more value to your customers. The second no-code tool is Airtable. Now, what Airtable helps you to do is to create a customized database for all of your customers. Again, you have these customers, they have gas engines, and they really want to understand, or you think it will be more value for them to understand the history of their car so they have it in one place. You could use Airtable as a way to generate the database, and you would populate it with different fields. So, for example, you'd have the customer's name, how long they've been a customer, what's their car, what's the registration, what problems has the car had, any maintenance issues, any repair, and it will be documented so you are able to give them a digitized version of the history of their car, which could prove to be extremely valuable. So with Airtable, what you're doing is you're helping them to access their information. So you're saving them time, you're making it accessible. And the whole idea for us as consumers as well as suppliers is how do we begin to reduce the friction within the services that we provide? So they are two distinct services that you, as a mechanic who has a high number of customers who have gas engines and they've got older cars and you want to add more value to them. The third service you could offer is actually via an app. You could use a no code app builder called Glide. And what Glide helps you to do is you think about, well, what's the end result? What do I actually want this app to do? It could be that you want to notify your customers with regards to their oil change that, you started with Zapier, but you want to place it in an app. It could also be you want to combine the oil change with the history of the maintenance of the car, and that could be the focus of your app. What you also need to consider is what is the data source? What do I mean by this? So you've got records all over the place. You've got the analog type of way of operationalizing your business. They might be in ledgers, they might be in notebooks, they could be invoices, but it's all handwritten. Now, if you haven't started to transition into the world of technology, you still might be operating in this very manual analog world. Secondly, you could be somebody who's already started to think about how you could integrate technology. So you've started to place all of your customers' information inside a spreadsheet like Excel. Excel and or the manual inputting one by one could be your data source. And it is this data source that you're going to use to populate the app. Now, what are some of the fields? Again, it's the name, it's the car, it's the type, it's the model, how long, what's happened to the car. It could be when was the last oil change. All the kind of circumstantial touch points that are related to cars could be placed in this app. Again, you're looking at efficiency, but let's say, for example, one of your customers is approached by somebody and they want to buy their car. Instead of them calling you and trying to find out the history of the car or where they may have written it in a notebook, if you create an app for them, it's easy, it's accessible, and gives them real-time data on the move. It creates a win-win for both of you, A, for the customer in the way I've just described, but for you as the owner of the business, you've been running this very successful business, this garage. And so instead of having the analog way of documenting your operations, you're beginning to digitalize them, which adds value to you because it saves you time, it streamlines your process, but also as a baby boomer, you're going to be thinking about how do you transition out of your business. You may have children who have no interest in taking on the business. And so you're thinking about, well, who could be an external buyer for my business? Now, one of the things that external buyers are looking for is, how valuable is this asset that you have developed over X, number of decades. Now, if you've got an analog system, yes, it's very profitable, but the fact that buyers are looking for the touch points of technology that could exist right inside your garage business. If you still are running an analog type of business, you can still sell it, of course, but you might receive a lower price because your business, the operations, isn't digitalized in a way that's going to be very appealing to external buyers. And one of the aspects of what buyers are looking for is like a database because the value is in the database. So if you've got scattered records, it's going to be very difficult for them, or it's going to take them some time to comb through that scattered information and to have it compiled in one comprehensive place. So it would be to your advantage to start building up that asset of your database, which is going to then be very appealing to an external buyer, which then creates the win-win all around. If your children, if you have them, who have no interest on taking on your business because they don't see it as a sexy business in comparison with technology, even though it's very profitable, you need to be thinking as the owner, as the leader of this business, how do you increase the intrinsic value? And the intrinsic value can be increased primarily by putting your database in a way that's tangible, in a way that's meaningful to you, so you can access it easily, but also how it could appeal to an external buyer. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you all today. It's short and sweet in that if you are a motor mechanic, great business, all of this experience, but haven't started to transition the operations of your business, those three tools can help to kickstart. Once you start to embed that, you can take on more sophisticated solutions that are coming down the line with regards to the Internet of Things. You now have a better context of the world in which you're operating in, but also as how you're going to try and appeal to external buyers who then want to take over your business. And primarily, you are adding even more value to your existing customers, but also you can use it as a way of brand awareness that you provide this service, and it could be a way to attract new customers. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I'd love to know if you are a business owner, if you are a mechanic, where are you on that kind of analog through to digitization of your business? I'd love to know. If you're already using resources, put them in the comment box below. Or if you are interested in me wanting to do more of these types of shows where this idea of how can I show you how technology can be connected to what are seen as the manual businesses, then I'm more than happy to do that. If you feel that I've added value to you today, please like and subscribe to my channel, also for liking this episode. And don't forget, please invite all those fantastic baby boomers who are in your life that you feel could benefit, because I'm here to share insights and information that helps them to reinvent psychologically, practically, and technically so they can thrive in their third act of life. So look forward to seeing you all next week here, same time. I think it's April the 2nd. We're already in April. Can you believe it? April the 2nd at 3:30 here on YouTube. And I think I've just got somebody come through on, hold on. Yes, somebody has just come through on this live stream feeds. Do forgive me with regards to this. And it's coming from Karen. Thanks very much, Karen. I'm really happy that you appreciate the insights in terms of how I'm helping baby boomers. So wishing you all a fantastic week. I will see you again here next week on my channel, where we're looking at new resources that will help to build out the lives of baby boomers. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.